Right, so if you're into 5, a golden number, the divine proportion, some very cool block from the pentagram stuff, sunflowers, shells, pine cones, pineapples, cauliflower, all sorts of things. It's really one of those, well, it is a key number in nature. It's in the shape of galaxies, tornadoes, sorry, not tornadoes, hurricanes / cyclones or whatever, but it's a really, really cool number. And if you know my channel, I'm right into studying both modern ancient architecture, and there's basically 3 numbers that appear all the time. Those are the numbers 55, 144 and 377, and they're Fibonacci numbers, which will bring out the phi code, will bring phi out. So if we start with Fibonacci, so like 1 and then 1, so 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 5 equals 8, 5, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233 and 377. So for instance, 377 steps up the Eiffel Tower, bridges, Chartres Cathedral, 377 feet high, Reims, the 370 feet long nave, Florence Cathedral, 377 feet high. You'll see it lots and lots of places, but so using the Fibonacci, if you start dividing, so if I was to divide 1 by 1, I would get 1, and then 2 divided by 1, and then 3 divided by 2, etc., etc. And the further and further you get down, the closer and closer you're going to get to 5. But the interesting point is that, for instance, so these 3 numbers are standards in sacred architecture. Another word for that is neology. And so if the more, so 21 divided by 13, 34 divided by 21, we're going to get closer and closer to 5. But there's another really cool point about that. And so as we get further and down, but to be more accurate, you need to go further and further down the Fibonacci number. So I'll keep, so for instance, okay, 55 is the 10th. It's nice because 5 plus 5 is 10. 144 is 12 squared, it's the 12th Fibonacci. This is for 14th. So we're going to go down just to, as an example, and we're going to go down to, this is the 25th Fibonacci. So the further you go down, the more accurate you get. So that's 25th, 26th, 27th. So I'm just adding this to that, then I'm going to add this to that. And I've already got written down on a piece of paper, so I'm not doing this off my head, off the top of my head. It's got a little bit of preparation done this time. So again, we just add this to that, and add that to this, and we get 269. Okay, so now since we've come further and further down the Fibonacci series, we're going to start to get some very accurate numbers. So for instance, if I was 121,393 divided by 75,025, and this is going to be our key number, so we're going to be coming back to this each time. So your standard, if you've ever seen phi and Fibonacci, Lucas numbers, all these other number series have phi hidden or encoded underneath. It's this natural the way it's in nature. It's when nature's built on maths, and this is one of the key points of math from which defines nature. Again, like things like the shell and the pine cone. And so if I was to, I'm going to divide that by that, and the number we get is 1.618033988. It's going to go on. That essentially is phi. That's the golden number, the divine proportion. That's phi. Now if I was to do that again with another really cool thing about sort of phi, okay, so if I was to say now phi plus 1 equals phi squared. So that's one way and so 2.6180339 is phi squared. But there's something really cool about this. So I start with that number. Okay, so I've divided it from the one beneath. Okay, so, and if I was to keep going down, I'm going to keep getting this number, and it's going to get more accurate as I go down. But now back to this point. So in the sacred architecture, you get the 10th, the 12th, and the 14th. So we're skipping one, and this in itself will be ancients, because this is included in ancient architecture, but in modern architecture, especially cathedrals, very important public buildings, major bridges such as the Sydney Harbour Bridge contains each of these three numbers, and they're hiding something. Beautiful proportions are hidden in plain sight, beautiful math code in plain sight. And now what do I mean by that? So if I was to repeat, so if I was to divide this number by the one above, I would get phi again. But what about if I divide this number by the 1, 2 above it? So 196418 divided by 75025, so just like above. And what's the answer we get? We get 2.618033988 ... which equals phi squared, which equals phi plus 1. So there's a nice connection, but there's more to that. So let's repeat that. So now we're going to skip 3 and go to the third number. So 317811 over 75,025. That equals 4.236067,977, which equals phi cubed. So phi, and if we skip 1, we get phi squared. If we skip 2 and go to the third, we get phi cubed. Okay, so let's continue. So 514229 divided by 75,025, and the answer to that is 6.854101966, or simply put, phi to the fourth. If we repeat that again, 82304 by 75,025. The answer is 11.09699,433, or phi to the fifth. If we repeat that one more time, so 13,46269 divided by 75,025. The answer is 17.9442719093, and no points for guessing. We get phi to the sixth. So if you divide by the 1, so 1 apart, we get phi to the first. If we skip 1, so the second number, phi squared. If we skip 2 and go to the third, we get phi cubed. We skip 3 and go to the fourth, we get phi to the fourth. We skip 4 and go to the fifth number, we get phi to the fifth. And if we skip 5 and go to the sixth number, we get phi to the sixth. So there you go. That's one of the beautiful things about phi. It's like only this number. So remember, so phi plus 1 equals phi squared, or 1 over phi equals phi minus 1. So this is pretty much well known. You get it most websites, videos, whatever goes into this. and only this number, only at 1.618 does that happen. That's what makes this so special. That's why it's encoded in the pentagram, sunflowers, tornadoes, the shape of spiral galaxies, all sorts of spirals are in this number. Don't worry about what the BBC and Martin the Sortoy gatekeeper bastard says to you. This is a beautiful number. It's a cover up is all I can. It's not even an opinion. It's a fact. Especially like the Code documentary by the Sortoy was a whitewash of this, complete whitewash, and this is why nature uses it. Only works with this number, and that's what makes it so friggin' awesome. And again, there's so much to this. It's I did a little couple videos before, for instance, in if you make a true pyramid, it's all about phi. Yeah, so and it's across dimensions and it extends into infinity. Beautiful. It should be taught. It's inexcusable that the gatekeepers get away with this. Should be hung, drawn, and quartered. Anyway, I hope you got something out of it. If you're a bit of a fanatic such as myself. Anyway, have a good one.